recorded vote in accordance with provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Farmville Town Council that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that Farmville Town Council hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge on public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by the Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by Farmville Town Council.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter? Mr. Benson?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Reed? And Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Got one thing that I do want to make sure it's on the record, and that's, I asked for information about the ICA and the issue that went on there. I've gotten a lot of people contacting me from the community about this and the fact that they're over 90% positive with COVID. When I first came on council, I was told that the town's relationship was basically a fiscal intermediary. We bill the federal government, then we sent the money on to ICA. That's not the case, which really surprises me. The town of Farmville has a contract with the federal government to operate an ICE facility. We have subcontracted with ICA Farmville to run that facility. They are a subcontractor of Farmville. In that subcontract agreement, it says that the ICA will agree to be responsible for servicing and meeting all obligations of the agreement that we signed with the federal government. In that agreement, on page 5, there's a couple of provisions when it comes to health. It says when communicable or physical problems are suspected, the detainee shall be separated from detained population. They don't have the facilities to do that. Also, it says that under the receiving and discharge of detainees, that the service provider, being ICA Farmville, retains the right to refuse acceptance or request removal of any detainee exhibiting violent or disruptive behavior, or of any detainee found to have a medical condition that requires medical care beyond the scope of the service provider's ability. Given their type of facility, they do not have the ability to isolate folks that need to be isolated when you have a communicable disease. And I feel like that they have done Farmville a disservice by bringing in the detainees that they knowingly were positive for COVID, which brought that, expanded that into over 90% of their detainees, as well as, last report I heard, 26 staff members were also positive. Those staff members coming back in our community. As a subcontractor of the town of Farmville, it is important that anybody that has the interest of Farmville in mind make those decisions that benefit our community. And that decision to bring those detainees in from those two states was not in our best interest. Now I know that we can get rid of this contract. There's nothing in here says we have any type, we can end it today if we wanted to, I think. Legally, we'd have to get some guidance on that, but I have a personal feeling that this is not a service that the town should provide, an ICE facility. A contract with the federal government to do so, it gets us right in the middle of anything that goes on out there. And if we have a subcontractor, there should be some type of oversight on what they're doing. They are a private company, but they work for the town of Farmville. And I think at least we need to have ICA come in here and explain to us why they made that decision to bring in COVID positive detainees into our community and potentially put a strain on our health care as well as a public health risk to members of our community. And secondly, I feel strongly that we need to get out of our contract with the federal government and let somebody else take care of it.
think the town manager's had some discussion with the ICE folks, and they're willing to come and do a presentation.
Correct.
And so I think if you can just arrange that, that would be great. Okay, anything else? Anybody else have anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Sorry.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?